just to prove to you guys we are at the airport, is there we are. We're actually currently just sitting on the ground with our bags. Our flight is still like an hour away. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the pod. Just before we get started today, just letting you guys know this is a pre-recorded episode from about 6 months ago. Me and Mike are not together anymore, unfortunately. You can see him in his room here. Say hi, Mike. Anyway, this episode was a bit of a mess. It was all over the place. You'll hear all about it. This was our Florida episode, and we did this adventure back in the summer in around June. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy and talk soon. Enjoy the episode later. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Exchange, a special episode. We're back in Chicago for another vacation, I guess. Vacation for me, and what would you call it? Staycation for you, yeah. So this episode, we're going to do a whole series of episodes of in-person ones. This one, we're going to talk about our Florida experience, going to Disney World and Galaxy's Edge and all that. We meant to record this in Florida, and then we meant to record it at the airport. It didn't work out for numerous reasons, which we recorded a clip of us in Florida because we still wanted something, and we'll explain it in that video. But yeah, we're recording it here, but we've got two segments to throw to throughout the show that we did film in Florida, which hopefully you guys enjoy. So yeah, but pretty much, long story short, we couldn't record in Florida because we didn't have the time to. And then when we went to do it in the airport, we didn't have the necessary equipment. So we couldn't have recorded anyway if we wanted to in Florida. Yeah. But yeah, we will talk about that in the clip. And then we will come back to us, and then we'll talk more in detail about what we set up there. Hopefully the audio is not too bad or anything like that. But it's good to be back in the studio and stuff anyway. But yes. Of course, I'm sitting with Mike. How are you going?
I'm doing great. It feels weird to be back here, doing the live person podcast, like in person. It's just weird. When we're setting up the table, I had like this flashback to last year when we did a couple podcasts here. So it's great to be back. It's cool. We've had so many adventures and nice, very cool moments and nice moments and all that. So it's been a very action-packed start to the summer.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot. We appreciated the positive reception to our New York episode. We were trying to do like a around the grounds thing, go to Florida. And
right.
This is that episode, and then we'll do like some Chicago-based stuff, and then also just some things that will be fun to do in person. You can look forward to all that. But yeah, I guess let's throw to the clip, I suppose.
Yeah.
So enjoy us in the airport in Florida, Orlando. So yeah, here we are. What's going on, guys? As you would have heard, we are in MCO, Orlando Airport, for some reason. No, we just visited. I mean, we would have set most of this up in the first part of the show. But yeah, we wanted to record the podcast here, but somebody forgot to remember to add bring the wire in his bag. It was partially my fault too.
It was partially his fault too, because I said, this is how tired we are.
Yeah.
I had the Ziploc in my check bag.
We were rearranging our bags as we got to the airport, because we were like, we're going to record a podcast.
And I put all my wires for my podcast stuff in the check bag, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to put all this stuff in here. And he said, okay, cool. Yeah. That's how it was. And then after I got my energy, and this was almost like 2 hours after that, we're walking, and I'm like, oh no, we can't do the podcast.
It's literally because we went and got food, and like we were sitting there talking for ages, and we're like, all right, let's go do it. And then I was like, oh, we don't have a camera, but I was like, it's all right, we'll just film on like with the webcam on our laptop. But then Mike just stands there like this, and I was like, you forgot the cable on the mic, didn't you? And he's like, yep. Anyway, okay. But the reason we're recording a podcast in the airport as well, we're in Florida, which I would have said earlier, but we wanted to do one like in our hotel or somewhere, either with us two or with Colin as well. Colin's Star Wars stuff. Once again, this podcast is just all over the place, so bear with us. But we just did not have time for that yesterday, because yesterday was such a long day. We spent all day at the parks, and then when we got back, we were just like absolutely zonked, so went straight to sleep. And then we woke up pretty much just before we were meant to check out, so then we had to check out straight away. So we didn't have anywhere to record the podcast here. So then my idea was, okay, let's film a segment with Colin, which we did, and you'll see later. And then we'll record a podcast at the airport because that'll be funny. But then, yeah, we got to the airport, had it all planned, and then, as we just said, the microphone is in Mike's bag right now.
It's on the plane. What can I say?
Yeah, but then we don't have a cable to attach it to one of our laptops to. So now we're sitting here recording a segment from Florida for some reason.
It's awesome though. Look, we have a nice background. If you guys got to see earlier, we
Let me
had
try and there you go.
Oh wow.
There's the airport.
Now you gotta do this because I'm dark and they won't be able to see me.
There we go.
But yeah, how was this trip overall? Like, what are your overall thoughts? Like, just in the moment.
For sure. Yeah, we'll keep this brief because the quality is probably terrible, but we'll say our immediate thoughts. This trip was so much fun. I'm sure we'll say this a lot throughout the show, but shout out to Colin from Star Wars Stuff podcast.
Shout out Colin.
He's the one that invited us down here. He has like pretty good access to the parks and stuff, so he helped us out getting in there pretty easily, and we hung out with him the whole time. Super awesome dude. We had an absolute blast hanging out with him, getting to know a lot about him and stuff, and he's just a massive Star Wars fan, so that was also a lot of fun. But yeah, the trip was great. We went to Galaxy's Edge last year in California, but now we're in Florida, which it was the Galaxy's Edge part was awesome. Obviously, we'll mostly talk about that. The rest of Disney, I'm not really into any of that stuff, but it's just cool to see. I suppose that's my perspective of it. But yeah, most of the time in Galaxy's Edge, it just felt the same as last year, but in the best way possible. It's just like, just back home at Galaxy's Edge because it's so much fun. Like, and it's annoying that like not everyone can do it because like, it costs a fair bit to travel and the ticket and everything. I wish everyone like was able to experience it. But being super lucky enough to experience it twice, I'm just like, yeah, it's so much fun, and I will want to come back, sometime soon for sure. So, but this trip specifically was it was loads of fun, ups and downs with all the travel and sort of on the heat here is just crazy. Florida is my first time here. Florida is so hot. Anyway, enough about me. What did you think of the trip?
I thought it was great. There was a lot of great moments, and I just had an amazing time experiencing Galaxy's Edge again. And it was my first time experiencing it in Florida, and I've been to the parks in Florida before, but it was just I don't know, it was just great to be reconnected with Galaxy's Edge. Like, it made me realize that it's like when I go to the Disney parks, I will always go to Galaxy's Edge first, and then use that as like a home base because it's just I know everything there. Like everything just feels like home to me. So I'll try out all the other stuff at the parks or try foods, but I will always like start my day at Galaxy's Edge and end my day at Galaxy's Edge just because it's just that home vibe to me, and it just Rise of Resistance brings a lot of comfort to me. Smugglers Around, like it's just a vibe, and I love experiencing Star Wars with unfamiliar people because it's just fun. It's fun to see all their reactions. Like you could tell when new people are on those rides and they're experiencing it for the first time. So
especially like kids experiencing Rise of the Resistance is awesome to see. I saw it was actually Smugglers Run.
They
One
were
of the
like,
kids came out of it and he was like, we did it.
We piloted it.
Man,
and they were arguing
awesome.
about like, no, I thought you were the pilot. No, I was the pilot. It was so funny. But
great.
All in all, a great trip. It was our first venture out together. Like we got to like be in one place and travel together somewhere. So that was pretty cool.
Traveled to the same spot but not together. But we went together, and then we're going back to Shy together.
So that's pretty cool. I don't know, that was a pretty cool experience. Because we don't really get to do stuff like that. So that was awesome. But a great experience, great time, and I'm ready for more Star Wars adventures that are outside Galaxy's Edge too.
For sure, yeah. But that's the end of this segment. And this podcast is going to be such a weird kind of listen or watch or whatever, but I hope you guys enjoy. Just to prove to you guys we're at the airport. There we are. We're actually currently just sitting on the ground with our bags. Our flight is still like an hour away. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this really weird segment of the podcast. And back to Ari and Mike in the studio. And we're back. Very smooth transition. Gee, that felt like a really quick 6 minutes, didn't it?
It was really quick.
So as we sort of explained in that video was our overall thoughts of Galaxy's Edge, our second experience, and of course the mishap with the equipment. But no, I guess we're sort of a week out of when it happened. How are you feeling? Yeah, 1 week post Disney World Galaxy's Edge.
I feel like I want to go back again as soon as possible. I thought about how fast time is going by, because I was like a week ago. I was like a week ago, and we even had flight trouble where our flight kept getting delayed and delayed.
Yeah.
So we were out there for a minute, it felt like. But no, yeah, it's like I want to go back. I'm barely like settling some of the stuff that I bought from Galaxy's Edge into my room. I'm using a cup that we got from over there every day.
Mhm. That's
So
what
yeah,
I
I'm
got
just
last year as well.
Oh yeah, there we go. But I just want to go back. Like, it was such a great experience, and we had great company, and
Yeah.
it was actually our first ever, like, we've met up in places, but this was the first time we got to travel out together and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. That was a good experience. So but yeah, it's like, yeah, I want to go back. I want to go back and explore more Galaxy's Edge. I was craving their the Ronto wrap
Oh yeah, big
the
time.
other day.
Big
I was like,
time.
oh man, and I want some frothy blue milk. I'm missing it.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and hopefully we don't repeat ourselves too much, because
Yeah.
we did record that last one a week ago. But yeah, obviously we went to Disneyland last year in California post Star Wars Celebration, which was loads of fun. You can see our pictures right there. That was a great day. We were on there for a day. We were there for 2 days this time around. But no, I feel similar to you. Like, I want to go back. Just being in Galaxy's Edge is just incredible. Like, it's such a good I don't know, it's very immersive, and I'm someone who hasn't grown up going to the Disneyland or Disney World resorts or anything. I went for the first time last year, so it's all very new to me. But I see the why people are so pulled to going to these what do you guys call them, like theme parks amusement parks, because they're pretty awesome. And we did a lot of the other stuff too, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, overall, I think we mentioned in the video, but we went with Colin, who made the whole experience so much easier, because he was based there at the time. And yeah, shout out Colin, because he's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a podcast called the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. You can listen to that wherever. He's going to be in another segment we've got coming up. But yeah, pretty amazing couple of days, would you say? So what are some core memories that are sticking out to you right now from those days?
Some of them weren't even at the parks. It was just like some off things that you and I were doing, or just like small moments. But I think what was cool is because Colin had fast passes, that we were able, there's no wait lines for any of the Star Wars rides.
Yeah.
So we, this time around, rather than waiting for an hour and more, 90 minutes or whatever to experience this, we actually we got on board like super fast.
Yeah.
And it was pretty insane. And because Colin's a frequent visitor of those parks, like, he's just made a whole bunch of friends. So we got to like meet all them, and they were all like there, and it was just made everything feel much more immersive and stuff, because there's some people that worked at the park and stuff that he knows. So it was really fun. And yeah, I think that whole experience getting onto board the Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance like so quickly was just awesome, because it was like
last year we waited 2 hours to get onto what was it called? I'm forgetting. Rise of the Resistance. Yeah. So what a contrast.
It was, and it saved so much time, because then it's like we got to go and do that and those the rides, because it's like I feel like that's the meat of Galaxy's Edge. It's like, gotta do the rides. Everything else is a must, but it just kind of sometimes feels like a bonus, just because like those rides are just surreal and euphoric, and a euphoric experience. But we got to do a lot of stuff, so I don't know, like, core memories, it was just like, it felt like a repeat of last time, but even cooler, because we already knew what we were gonna expect, so we got to make the most out of it this time.
It felt very efficient, like we really did everything. Before we talk more about it though, I think let's watch I think it's about 3 minutes, a clip with Colin that we recorded in the park at Galaxy's Edge, sort of near the what's the ship called that we recorded by?
The first order attack shuttle or something.
It's a first order,
or the Thai something.
Yeah.
Thai style.
First order ship. We recorded it by there while we were sipping on some blue milk. So enjoy this clip. So what's up? Howdy everyone. We're at Galaxy's Edge right now. We just flew to this from the airport, I assume, because we had to get our boy Colin in. Colin? Where are we starting at? Because Colin left me hanging. Wait. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to... Well, no, this is a segment of the podcast, so you're already watching the podcast. Here is us at Galaxy's Edge with our guy Colin. How are you, buddy? Colin's the reason we came out here, and it's all thanks to Colin, so shout out to him. Check him out on the Style Stuff podcast. He's already been on our podcast before, but yeah.
We're out here chilling, drinking blue milk. Cheers. Cheers. Where's the cup?
Yeah, Colin already finished.
Yeah, I just said it's so good, so had to finish right away.
But this time we came with Colin. Show us around. He's more of a Disney expert than we are, so we got to see and learn a lot of cool new things. Like I didn't know that in one of the gift shops you could see an item from Spaceballs.
Yes, yeah. There is a wood carved Winnebago. So it is like the RV like type ship that they fly in Spaceballs, and it's right above the cash register. Not that many people see it. It's just those small things that make Galaxy's Edge so much fun.
Yeah.
And we're actually, I'm sure we've already talked about it on the show, but we are in Florida right now and it's very cloudy. Yesterday was blisteringly hot. It's pretty hot today as well,
But the sun's not out, so.
the sun is not out. Anyways, Colin, tell us, how have you enjoyed? Well, Colin is a Galaxy's Edge expert. He's been here a few times. To say the least. But how have you enjoyed hanging out with the exchange crew?
I have enjoyed it a lot. I know we talk about off camera, but sometimes of when you don't see people for a while, like it's like exactly of where you like kind of pick up from, like of where you left off, and just hanging out with you guys and seeing your reactions to stuff that I normally see every day was very, very cool. And we had a lot of fun experiencing Smugs. We had a lot of experiences on Rise of Resistance, and then just walking around in general. So and then our experience at August was also a lot of fun too.
Exactly. But yeah, once again, shout out to Colin. It's been super fun. Hopefully the audio of this is okay. Because you guys won't be able to hear us properly, so we'll keep it brief. But once again, thanks to Colin. Colin, any last words for our Florida edition of the podcast?
Just keep being you. It's what heroes do.
Hell yeah. All right.
Note to end up.
Back to the airport. Enjoy the rest of the show. And we're back. What a great clip that was.
It was great to watch it again.
Yeah. That was loads of fun. Once again, shout out to Colin. But yeah, let's sort of go from the start of our experience and talk through how we experienced it for the second time. We it was an early morning. We got up maybe 5:30 or so. Maybe that's not that early for some people, but for me, I was just about dying from it. And then we boarded. Plane ride went so smoothly. We had such a smooth airport experience, which we were so happy with, because honestly, if anything went wrong, we might have been in a bit of trouble because we were running a little bit late to the airport.
We were.
Got off at Orlando, went straight to the parks with Colin, caught the air train, or what do you guys call them?
The
Sky
gondolas, Skyline.
Sure. Rode those into the park, which was super cool. And then we just headed straight for Galaxy's Edge, did Rise, did Smugglers, walked around, went shopping, and man, like you said, what a time. Like, I think Rise of the Resistance just never gets old for me. I don't think it ever would. I could ride that 3 times a day and I would not be bored. It is so much fun.
It is, and it's like you get a different experience every time, because you get like some people, you could tell that it's like their first time on it and they don't know what they're expecting. Whoa, it's a shocking experience if you experience it for the first time. And even as you were saying, like, it just never gets old because it's so immersive.
Yeah,
that it feels like I'm just like in it, where it's like, oh yeah, cool, I'm doing a ride. Like, it just feels like I'm in it, so I can't act anything but in it.
I would say, like, probably what got to me this time is, are we saying like spoilers for the rides, or should I just not talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
I just won't. Yeah, I won't spoil the ride. Or anything that actually happens in terms of like the story, I guess. But in terms of the actual ride, that once you've done it so many times, the beginning can start to feel really slow. And I mean that's coming from a very spoiled perspective because we didn't have to wait in line for 2 hours or anything. But like you get in there and you watch what you watch, and then you go out, and then you're in a ship, and then the whole thing happens. Then you line up for again.
Mhm.
But then once the ride starts, and the people that have done it will know it really starts. And I don't know how long that would even go for. Maybe 2-3 minutes of
Which part?
like by the time you get into the transport.
Oh, you think that's
Maybe longer.
yeah.
But everything from that moment to the end is just like incredible. But
Mhm.
some of the waiting, I suppose, when you once you've done it a few times, it's like, all right, yeah, we get it.
But it didn't help out because there's like a shuttle at the beginning that you get on, non spoiler.
Yeah.
And the hydraulics for it underneath that are supposed to make the shuttle tilt like this.
Yeah.
They were broken, so it was like turned off.
Yeah. Right.
And it made it feel less immersive because in LA, or when we went to Anaheim, we were like this and that, and you literally had to hold on or you could fall.
Yeah.
So I did miss that a lot, and it made it a bit more grueling to get through because it's like, yeah, all right. I know how the nachos taste. Give me the full blown burrito.
I think as well, something that can be said for all of Disneyland, all of Disney World, all the parks, but just speaking with what we sort of did, man, the cast members are just fantastic.
Yes.
Like, and I don't know, I'm not really familiar with, as I said, the whole Disney World landscape, but they're fantastic. They're really good at their jobs. They stay in character so well, and I always love. There's a big like actor moment, I suppose, in Rise, and that never got old to me. I enjoyed that every time. When the shuttle gets caught and someone comes in to tell you what to do, that moment never gets old to me. But yeah, that's right. Any other notes on doing rides? I think we did it how many times? Maybe it felt like four
I think
times?
it was 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times over the 2 days, which was great. We actually got to experience a different version of it because one of the what would you call it? The animatronic or whatever.
Oh, right.
It was broken, so we got another perspective of it, which was cool.
Yes.
But yeah, Rise of the Resistance, great. And I suppose, I don't want to repeat too much of what we said last year.
Right.
But I just wanted to make a point of saying I completely understand that like Disney World or Disneyland, like that, it can be kind of frustrating for some people hearing others talk about it because like it's just not plausible for them to go, whether it's for a financial reason or for like a location based reason. So like because I was there for I don't know how long Galaxy's Edge has been around, but I wasn't able to go for it for a long time, and I didn't think I would be able to go see it in a long time, and somehow I've seen it twice in a year.
Funny.
But I don't know. I suppose I completely understand that perspective, but if you're able to make it happen and you're a big Star Wars fan, make it happen because it's quite the experience, like a good fan experience.
It's like it's up there with Celebration for sure. Like you need to go experience these things because it's like again, you can only see and watch. I'm just one of those people that's like, if I really like something, I gotta like put it on my shelf or like collect memorabilia of it, like for Star Wars, and I love to experience something. It's like if we were big fans of baseball, but we heard the games and we watched the games, but we can never go to a game.
Yeah.
And it's like when you go to Galaxy's Edge and you go to experience Star Wars Celebration, it's like you're going to a game.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. It's something that definitely put on your bucket list, and like you were saying, it's not accessible to everyone and stuff because it's a bit of travel and it is expensive at the parks. But one day you'll get that crossed off your bucket list, and you should totally do so.
For sure. Yeah, it's worth making it happen through however you have to do that. But I suppose the other big Star Wars ride, of course, Smuggler's Run, experiencing that for the second time was interesting because I'd say my experience was not the best, only because getting over here, I had a troublesome experience on the plane to do with turbulence and motion sickness and stuff. So getting in a big box that was just shaking everywhere was not the funnest. Didn't send me down the nicest thought trail, I suppose. So I didn't love Smuggler's Run this time around, but I definitely enjoyed watching Colin and Mike have fun doing it. How did you go with Smuggler's Run this time?
I loved it a lot more this time because we actually got to a point where, well, first it was you and I piloting, and I don't know what to say other than we did horrible.
Yeah.
We did horrible, but it was nice because this time I got to pilot the left side and you got to pilot the right. So Ari was the one that would pull the hyperspace handle or lever, and that was really cool. But then there's a time where it was just me, you, and Colin in one Falcon cockpit, and that was amazing because it was just us three, and we succeeded very well. We succeeded very well. There's like hardly any scratches on the ship, so that was awesome. And this time around, I think I enjoyed it more. It was just very cool to. I enjoyed the story a lot more than I did the first time around. Like, yeah, you're in a box and you're just flying around. I'm like, I really felt immersed in it.
Yeah.
For sure, because it was just like, oh yeah, I'm in it. We're flying the Falcon. Here we're here with Hondo directing us and stuff. Great, that was awesome.
And we were even so lucky to experience it where we got to have just the three of us in the cockpit, as in us two and Colin, and that was super fun because we felt like we got the whole room to ourselves. It felt like the teacher had let us into the classroom early and we were just throwing papers around and stuff. It was such good fun. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, it was great because we just got to win and there's no distractions for people, like, because someone yelled at us and they're like, you guys are terrible drivers to Ari and I was like, all right, we're figuring it out. But then the second time we got to it, and it was when we were by ourselves. Wait, how many times did we ride Smugglers?
Only twice. Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah.
And no, I think it was 3 times. No, it could have been twice.
I'm pretty sure it was twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, we got to work in sync and stuff, and there's no distractions of people yelling at us. You don't know how to drive. So we did it. And I was still flying the left side, so it was pretty cool because now I got the gist of it, and it was good. It was a good experience, and you got to shoot, and we're like, shoot, Ari, shoot. It was great.
Yeah, no, it was super fun. What other Galaxy's Edge stuff we did? We did the cantina again. How did you fare in that experience?
Colin got into a funny encounter with the bartender.
Yeah.
And after their encounter, they like dueled out some game of sabacc or something, and the bartender gave us each a set of the coasters, which I didn't even know where. I knew they were kind of collectibles that if you like just, I'm gonna keep it cool little souvenir, but they actually have sets of them. So it was like each one has like a different character on it or different symbol, and we have the whole set.
Yeah, that was thanks to Colin's familiarity with the park. He knew what strings to pull to get our
right.
What do you say? Our waiter?
Oh yeah, or bartender.
Our bartender to give us both a set of coasters, which were awesome. Because last year we were like, we both grabbed the one that we like that was just on our table, and we were like, and then we kept them. Yeah. But now we've got a whole set, so it's awesome. But the one that we got last year will always be special, though.
Yes, it will.
For sure. And I suppose shopping wise, we did pick up some stuff. You more than I, but we both because last year we both got like a matching cup. This one, and this year we got another cup, which we don't have on us right now. But it was the one you buy at the Blue Milk stand. Which, by the way, shout out Blue Milk, so tasty.
I still haven't tried green milk.
Yeah, you're not missing out. It was mid. Maybe that's controversial. I don't know. But we both got a puffer pig, which was fun because we both obviously love Rebels. And for me, I know I love like niche Rebels stuff or just anything niche Star Wars. And I told Mike before we'd even got in, I was like, I'm going to get a puffer pig. And then he was like, we should get something the same. I was like, get a puffer pig. Anyway, so yeah, we love it.
Sounds great. Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah, we puffer pig supremacy.
Yeah. What else did you have a look at the shop?
I want to get like souvenirs for my family, so I saw the Chance cubes. I got my brother one of those Blue Milk cups. What else? It was just I think I got my dad this cool like weathered resistance hat, and then what else was there? Oh, show him the box that the puffer pig.
Oh yeah,
I should say the crate.
This was great. So it's kind of worn out because we had thunderstorms on like before our flight. So and they were sitting in Mike's bag and at the top. So you can see it's sort of been a bit weathered
Yeah.
there. But no, these are super cool. They came with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to transport this home because we got 2 of them. But yeah, these were cool, and the little puffer pigs were in there, so
Yeah,
that was nice.
That was very cool. A very good souvenir that I didn't even know I'd be excited to get a box. But I was like, yeah, because they gave us one, and then Ari was like, "Hey, can we have both or 2?" And she's like, "Sure." And then she kind of looked at us funny, but I'm like, "Hey, a box, a souvenir box,
Like,
a box."
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The only regret that I have is I didn't get like a Coke, a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Coke,
Yeah, that's
just because
cool.
I want one in my room, but I'll get one eventually, or a
Yeah.
Sprite one too.
Yeah. For sure. Anything else that sticks out to you a lot at Galaxy's Edge that you want to talk about?
I feel like this time around I was able to appreciate stuff more.
Yeah.
Not
I
because
agree.
after getting like the shock of it, it was just cool to like. It felt like we were back home. Like it was so cool. Getting back there, and it just felt like we were back. And I looked to Ari at one point. I'm like, dude, like we're back here at Galaxy's Edge. I'm like, let's just get ready to enjoy. And I felt like I was just like in the cantina, or I was in because the cantina, I forgot what drink. I think it was, I forgot what it was, but it was pretty tasty. It was very fruity.
Yeah.
It was very tasty.
Can I say something about the cantina? And this is a recommendation for anyone that hasn't gone to Galaxy's Edge. Do not get the food in the cantina.
Oh,
it's so bad. It's so overpriced, and you get the smallest portions humanly possible. Like it's bad. Both times we've got food from there, and it's just not good at all. I do not recommend it to anyone. If you want to pay like $50 for like a block of cheese, go for it. But yeah, the food there is not good. However, the food outside of the cantina is good. The Ronto wrap, great. We haven't tried any of the other stuff, but anyway, just want to throw that in there.
Yeah. And make sure to try to get a table, because that's a good experience, because you get to sit down and enjoy. Because they have standing places, and they're just not. Just not it. Like you just stand there and have to like look around. There's too much happening. And when you're sitting down, you get noise from just the front of you and not all around.
Yeah.
So it could be sensory overload just because it's loud. It sounds like a bar, but there's just too much going on. And then there's shouting between the characters and stuff. So it could get a little too much at times, but it's overall a nice vibe.
We had a moment where like, we're in the cantina, and this must be a bit they do every hour or so, where like the power goes out, and then the manager of the bar like just like bangs on the machine and it turns back on and everything.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We didn't experience that last time.
Yeah,
that was really cool. But yeah, I got to just appreciate things more. I didn't really look at the Falcon all around, just because I'm like, oh well. I mean, we have this picture, so we took like 1 or 2 pictures. I'm like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I already feel like I took the best picture that I possibly could there.
Yeah.
So those were really cool shots.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. Like even in the shops, I just got to like look at all the little trinkets and just look at all the stuff and just appreciate it more. Yeah, and it was just a good experience. It was something that we kept just coming back to and stuff. So
yeah,
I can't really complain.
I definitely feel you. It was nice to just like, because we were so tired last time, so overwhelmed. We were this time as well, but it was like it was nice to sort of take a deep breath and really just soak it all in. And we had some nice interactions with the cast, like the stormtroopers. There was one where I had my phone like probably way too close to their face, and he just comes out to me and he's like, "You're acting very suspicious right now."
Yeah.
There was a few funny ones like that. But we also got to experience, moving on from Galaxy's Edge, we got to experience the Star Wars Museum, Star Wars Landing Bay.
Oh,
is that what it's
Launch Bay.
Launch Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we got to see some cool stuff in the little museum they had there. By the way, we have so many like pictures and all that sort of stuff that we're going to post on the podcast page. Like Mike's got a whole saga with taking a picture of the Poe Dameron X-Wing, so we'll do a little slideshow on there. And then a heap of other stuff. Like we've got some funny videos and all that we'll post. We did another Blue Milk reaction video, so look forward to that. But anyway, the Star Wars Launch Bay was super fun. A lot of cool stuff, and we took pictures with Chewie, Darth Vader, and BB-8, which was great. We had a super funny moment with Chewie, which is another video I'll post, where I was like to Mike, I was like, I'm gonna go and like start yelling at Chewie, but like really badly.
Oh yeah.
And just see how they react. And then but they were, I don't know, whoever, oh, I mean, Chewie, was so nice back and gave me a big hug. So that was awesome. By the way, yeah, if you see someone in Chewbacca costume, give them a hug. 'Cause they're usually comfortable with it, obviously, like asking stuff before if it's all right. But it's so nice hugging
Yeah,
Chewie.
it is. It's like hugging a nice, firm but fluffy pillow.
Yeah. No, it's great. And then also got to interact with Darth as well, which was
Oh
very
yeah,
nice.
that was a very nice experience.
But yeah, what else? What do you want to say anything about the launch bay or talk maybe about the broader Disney experience?
It was so weird because the launch bay was something that was put there, I guess, kind of like in awaitment for, if that's even a word, for Galaxy's Edge, for Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
So when I went in 2017, I could see that construction was going on for Galaxy's Edge, but it was just so cool to get like some form of Star Wars at Disney, like Star Tours and the Star Wars launch bay, where they have like a cool like museum of props from the film that you get to look at, and stormtroopers are walking around, and you get to meet like the characters and stuff. So yeah, that was a really cool experience back in the day, of just being like, oh, this is like, I was fulfilled by taking a picture with Vader and interacting with him. Same with Chewbacca, same with BB-8. But now in contrast to Galaxy's Edge and actually being put in the universe with so many different characters and stuff, it's always cool to go back to the Star Wars launch bay and just be humbled a bit, to be like, this is what we had before, and now this is where we're at now.
It still holds up. It's great. Any Star Wars fan that goes in there will have a great time.
Yes,
it's a
great.
fun time.
It's literally great. Like they literally have a speeder bike, like a prop from Return of the Jedi. Not, well, I shouldn't say like an actual screen use prop, but like a replica at one of the museums, and it's very nice. It's very cool. I looked through every ship and everything, and I was just in awe, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, definitely. I'm going through even the TIE fighters. I was like, man, this is so cool. So yeah, Star Wars launch bay holds up. I remember they had like some type of Star Wars on screen show at the launch bay, but they weren't playing anything. And then so that was a bit disappointing, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. I got to be on the screen and on the rides and stuff, because you just feel like you're in the movies. But what did you think of Star Tours?
Yeah, I did it last year with you, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it again this time, but it was just very similar to the Smuggler's Run experience, where after having that turbulence experience and all that happened on that plane, I just got really motion sick, to be honest. It sort of just triggered all those feelings.
It's a lot. It's dizziness.
Yeah. But it's still fun, and I could still appreciate it for what it was. It was just occasionally I had to close my eyes and like go to my happy place.
Yeah.
But the Star Tours is great though. It's good fun, and it feels very like, I just appreciate doing it, knowing sort of the backstory, and after going to Galaxy's Edge, and then similar with the launch bay, like going back to like the roots of Star Wars theme parks, I suppose. So yeah, that was great. How did you go with Star Tours?
I don't know. I just feel like it's it's part of that, again, that humbling experience. It's like, this is all we had.
Yeah, we
got to sit in this car and it shakes around and throws us in for a spin. Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's definitely a different type of Star Wars ride. But I just have a great time every time, because you don't know which what would you call it? Which scene or which mode they're gonna play or something. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know, because every time you go on it, it's like a different experience, just because they have different tours, if you will. And this one was one that I hadn't done before, because they included Exegol and just stuff from Rise of Skywalker. So that was really cool. It was a new experience, because instead of Yoda popping up on screen, who popped up on screen? Was it BB-8?
Man, I can't remember.
I think it was BB-8.
Yeah, it was very sequel based, I remember.
Which was cool, because I remember seeing when Rise of Skywalker came out, like, go experience Star Tours at Disney World, just because they had like, it featured Exegol. But
oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was cool to finally experience it after several years.
Definitely. Yeah, I suppose I was just looking through my phone to try and refresh my memory of the whole experience. But how did you feel going to Disney World? Like, you haven't been for a while. It was my first time going, but you haven't been for a while. How did you think of outside of the Star Wars stuff? How'd you go?
It was cool.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to hang out much outside of Galaxy's Edge just because we had very limited time.
Yeah.
But it was just cool to be back, I guess. I'm always amazed. I'm not like a Disney fanatic or whatever, Disney fan, or I guess I'm a fan because I like their movies and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm not like a fanatic where I'm like, oh, I know all the history and stuff. But just getting there and being like, wow, like this is so cool. I'm always intrigued by the design and the concept. Like I'm more interested in how the workers here operate. Like how does the garbage system work? Like I'm just like that. I guess I'm just like that. Like, oh, like did you know like at this time the lights turn off and then they have to reset the power grid? And I like stuff like that behind the scenes rather than like going to like a fireworks show and like I don't know. Like I'm just more behind the scenes, like appreciating like the rides, like learning that Rise of the Resistance was very innovative. That they use that same technology on different rides throughout the parks and stuff, which I'm like, hell yeah! Like Star Wars is always that innovative. I don't like project out there that's always Lucasfilm, I should say. It's always out there pushing for newer and cooler things like the volume and stuff like that. So pushing our technology forward. But anyways, so yeah, Disney World. Nice to be back. We just like touched base on in some places. We took a picture in front of the castle, which I thought was funny. I'm like, we gotta do this. We're here. So that was a funny experience, and we got to try a bit of a turkey leg thanks to Colin. And I'm like, man, the food here is really good.
Colin shared a bit of his turkey leg with us, which was
he had a big old turkey leg.
He got a fork, ripped some out, and was like, yeah, try some. I was like, okay. No.
But you liked it.
I did, man.
Yeah.
Colin was great. That experience probably wouldn't have been possible without his help. So once again, shout out to him. He was such good company.
He was
such a great guy.
Yeah.
And we're keen to have him on the show again sometime soon. But
definitely.
And one quick note on Disney World though, just as a whole, it's very overwhelming. And for me, like I similar to you, where I like the movies, whatever. I'm just not really big on it though. Like it just feels like too much for me because I'm like I'm a real like completionist, perfectionist, all that sort of stuff. So at least I strive to be. So I'm sorry, that sounded so cocky, and I was like, I need to rectify this. I try to be like a completionist and all that sort of stuff. So when I'm there, I want to do every little thing, but it's just not possible unless I want to spend a month there. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to. So in that sense, I sort of felt like I wasn't getting the experience that I should, but I also was at the same time. Like I really liked the catching the train from one park to the other, but it's on a whole different scale. Like the size, but when I heard it's the size of 2 Manhattans, I was like, are you kidding me? After spending 2 weeks in New York.
Is it really? Where'd you hear that?
Colin said it, and you said it. Is that what you were looking for? Anyways. But no, yeah, it was cool though. Yeah, we got our picture in front of the castle, which is a pretty cool spectacle. But yeah, it's fun. We had a really good time. Obviously, travel can be kind of bumpy sometimes, so you have your moments here or there. Especially the Floridian heat is just on another level. Like man, we were zonked after the first day.
I told him, I said, he's like, yeah, it seems like a regular day in Australia. I'm like, I understand that, but this is suffocating heat because it's so humid out.
I get like. For me though, it's just like we'll have those days, maybe not to that extent, but it's like in Oz and we'll just stay inside, you know what I mean? But like we were out in it all day, and like we would walk through the shops just to walk through the air conditioning for 2 seconds. But no, overall great experience. Once again, thank you to Colin. We had a really good time, and yeah, Galaxy's Edge, guys. If you have the means to do so, go check it out
and use the gondola system. It's very fun and interesting, and it gets you places.
It may take a while, and you may be stuck in a box, and if you've got claustrophobia like me and Mike,
there's a pee bag.
You might have some interesting anxious thoughts when you're in there, but no, it was cool though. I like the short ones, but we did a really long gondola ride, and I was like freaking out,
and it stopped for a second, and I was just like
Colin tried to start to explain why it was stopping. I was like, I just don't want to know. Please don't tell me.
I came up with my own conclusion, and I stuck with that, but I literally stopped for a good second.
Yeah, but there's a pee bag in there, so if something goes wrong, you've got that. Anyways, but yeah, any other thoughts you want to throw out there before we wrap up?
It was a great time. It was a great time. I want to go back and do some of the Disney rides just because I want to experience like the Ratatouille one, the same concept as Rise of Skywalker, or I'm sorry, Rise of Resistance. And I noticed, or I noted every time that I come to one of these Disney parks is that Galaxy's Edge is definitely what I'll start my day with and end with.
Yeah.
It's beautiful there, and it's good energy all around. It's a nice little distraction from our very cruel world sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think two things. First of all, if you haven't gone and you're thinking, oh, it's really the only thing I want to do there, is it worth it? Yes, it absolutely is. I could spend 2 days just in Galaxy's Edge. Like, I love it. You could do nothing else, which is pretty much what we did, and just be in Galaxy's Edge, and it's great. The other thing, and to finish off with, was I think overall Galaxy's Edge and Disney as in general, just obviously we spent most of our time in Galaxies, but it just, Mike just alluded to it a second ago, but it's like it really just makes you gives you the freedom to just be a kid again, and it's great. And that might be really cliche when in talking about Disney, but honestly, it's the truth. Like, that is how I felt. I just felt like I can be a kid again. I can just go watch these stormtroopers and all this sort of stuff. So it's super fun. And yeah, we had a great time.
We did have a great time.
For sure. So thanks, guys, for watching. This has been our first Chicago studio episode, with plenty more coming. But yeah, that wraps it up. Make sure you're following our Instagram page at the SW Exchange, because loads of the stuff we talked about, I'm going to post some pictures. So is Mike. We got videos, everything coming there. So that's going to be super good. If you're listening on audio, please give us a 5-star rating and write a review if you enjoy the show. We really appreciate that. It goes a long way. YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot. Mike, people can find you on
all_Star Wars across Instagram, apparently Threads now. Threads, Twitter, that's its own thing. But yeah, go check me out there, and you can not find Ari on Threads.
Yeah, not yet at least, and not for another few years.
Me either.
But yeah, at @StarWars_Exchange, you can find me. Appreciate y'all for listening. We will see you very soon for another Exchange in-person episode. It's that season. We're super pumped for it. We'll see you soon. May the Force be with you always. Adios.